This Dent May album came out back in like August 2017, but I've only recently discovered it, and I've got to say it's lovely. It really is a really lovely listen. The production is very lush. I love the piano instrumentals across this album. Dent May has a really nice, like a very nice guy voice, you know? You just hear his voice and it's pleasant. It's a pleasant voice that you can listen to and have no issues with, honestly. I mean, just look at the album cover. Jesus Christ. Just look at the album cover. He's in a tuxedo. He's got a bow tie on. He's got his hair just like really just flat, I guess. Flat probably isn't a very good adjective to make someone seem nice, but it's just, you know, combed. It's smart. He looks like a great guy that you just want to sit down with and have a nice chat to. And honestly, on this album, that's all I get from the album. Just, it's such a pleasurable album. It's so poppy. It's so bright. And it's similar to that Zach Valera album that came out in 2017 that I really enjoyed and saw no one else talk about, honestly. But it has that really like indie twee sound to it that only really was major in like the early 2000s, mid 2000s, but it's not nostalgic either. It doesn't give you that sense of it's just a throwback. No, not at all. I just think it's a nice little mini subgenre that's kind of growing a little bit and has that sort of Bandcamp vibe to it that only really the indie hipsters know about, but it's still worth your time and still has a really good sound to it. I'm also reminded a lot of Elvis Costello in this album too. I think there are moments where his voice reminds me of that. It certainly feels like that era of music, the late 70s kind of soft rock sound. Also, I want to mention, especially on the first track, Hello Cruel World, when it comes on and his vocals come through, I'm totally reminded of Randy Newman as well. Total Randy Newman inspiration on this album. So if you loved the album that Randy Newman put out last year, which really you should have because it was fucking great. It was fucking great. Don't sleep on Randy Newman's album, alright? But if you liked it, or like any Randy Newman's past music, then this also should be something that you would want to check out. There's a romantic flair across the album too, with the lyricism very much focusing on just that traditional love. You know, a lot of the tracks do delve into those ideas, and I'm getting a bit of a Brian Wilson vibe as well in the way he sort of writes his lyrics. They're very like romantic and very like from the heart, you know, very personal, and I just like the sort of way that Dent May sort of reaches into himself and drags out all the passion, because you do get a lot of passion from this guy in this album as well. And I think the hooks really do burst through on this album. A lot of tracks really will get stuck in your head. And that's really what brought me coming back to it. It's a shame I didn't discover this earlier in 2017, because I feel like it could have crept on to like my year-end list. I feel like the only issue is that maybe I have to be in a certain mood for this album to really like shine through. You know, when you're feeling really happy, this is the kind of album you want to stick on because it's going to elevate that happiness, because it is just such a bright and sunny album. Reach out your hand to me. It really does just make you want to fall in fucking love. And if you already are in love, then it makes you want to feel like you want to fall in love again, because you're probably on the brink of a divorce, because that's the way shit goes. The only track I really didn't vibe with or didn't really click with was the song I'm Gonna Live Forever Until I'm Dead, which just by saying that I guess you can guess why I think that, because the title is a bit silly, honestly, and he does repeat that on the refrain of the song too, so it's not really something that makes me want to go back to it, because I feel like everything else on this album just felt like it was coming straight from a like romantic movie from like years and years and years ago, and you're gonna sit outside, you know, with the that old school American sort of like cinema where it's outside, you're sat in your car watching like a romantic movie. It just gives you that vibe, this album, honestly. I don't know how, but that's kind of what I feel. And that one song on the album pulled me away from it, if I'm being honest, but it was only for a brief moment because it's a very short album. It was the second to last track. The closing track is a solid track, majority of this album I'm really enjoying. So yeah, just thought I'd throw it in a recommendation video here because it is quite old now. 6 months past the release, so I didn't really properly give it a review, but I guess I kind of have anyway. But I do really like this, and yeah, make sure you go give it a listen. I'll link the Bandcamp in the description. If you have managed to hear this album at any point, let me know what you think, because I think Dent May could garner a good following over the next couple of years if he carries on putting out great music like this. Yeah, I like this a lot, and I hope you do too, and I hope you enjoy this review, and I hope you get a good recommendation out of this video. Like I said, if you're a fan of like Brian Wilson, Elvis Costello, Randy Newman, that kind of stuff, then this is totally up your street. And that's it. That's the review. That's the video. Have a good day. Have a good day.